airplane mode on. Number Daled. So now we're looking at the Ramak and the Or Yakar. And he says, Reb Or Yakar, he said, Shabira Bekanda, the Ba'os Yud, the Os Yud HaElyon. He's got a concept here for Yud Elyon. Nechwal Chen Gulgalta V'Chen Mocha Stimah V'Chen Kruma Devira. So what he calls here the Yud Elyon has three parts to it. All of these parts generate, it sounds like the concept of the Yud is Benimi, to these other three parts, the Gogalta, the Muchstimah, and the Kruma Devira, Besod Gimel Kutsim Sheyesh Ba'os Yud, with that secret, right? Vehem, that is, you could divide it up, Vehem Kesef Hoch B'Binish B'Kesef V'Zecher She'amar Yud Law, this Yud Law, this concept, Yud Law, Shehu Mocha Stimah, which now he says the Yud Law is the Mocha Stimah, Shehu Kutz Soy the Os Yud, this ata bekutra datika, which begins or crowns, or we call it the bekutra datika in this place called the kutra datika. What is the kutra datika? We keep going over this. What's on the lama shachamucha misatach begulgalta, that the mocha is crowned by or surrounded, not by the surrounded by the gulgalta hanikra kutra datika, and the gulgalta is called the kutra datika, which means what kuter means. He says, well, kuter means catcher. That's what we saw before, like in the word katoris. So he says, going a little further, so he says, catcher the atzilus, hanishrash be'erik anpin, which has its root in erik anpin, catcher the atzilus. So this is this kutra, Shamuchim is Atebekugalta, which is called the Kesher Datzilus. Let's look at number 27. 27, skip it. It's just a note. Let's go on. Uvenos of the Gugalta Hahopa Belamala. So in addition to the Golda which surrounds it on the top, Gam Nistam Hamocha Milamata Abiyadera Bekruma Devira. So now this is a lesson in what the Kruma Devira is. Kruma Devira is below this Mocha Stimah. Now we have a note here we can look at, number Kaf Ches. So number Kaf Ches says, I'll bring it down a little lower here. Let me see a little bit better. So he says, Rei B'or Yakar Le'el. So he spoke about this. V'zel Shana B'delov. The Kara is a Kruma Devira B'fnei Shehu Paroches. So Paroches, so Paroches means that it spreads out. It's a kruma devira, b'fnei shehu parochos, like a parochos, like a curtain. It's a masach paros. It's like a screen that is spread out. Shalot tispashet amuch lematach al bechinas aguf, so that it keeps what's inside of the mocha stimah to coming from getting out on the bottom, going that is towards the lower universes. So Chachmah, so it's this is part of the quote. So yiftach, so they should not open up below yispashet el hanesiva's cloud. This shouldn't spread into the different paths that come out of the 32 in the Sifra Chachmah, for example. So he says kruma, that's a crust, some kind of covering. Like you put some kind of a covering that seals something up, ad kan. So they had something on it previously. Let's go over to number 28, number Kaf Ches up above. And it says up above, so I'm confused about those words because it seems to be contradictory. His dakek demean means that it becomes more transparent. That's what I thought it meant. He says, but this is the phrase and it's been used several times. So they're serious about it. So he says the izdakek v'sasa v'zel l'shona. So one of the operant is that it closes up. V'zel l'shona v'ha'or yakarsham yud ilah disater. That means surrounds. Like a levoyer, klalos osius yud kevav. Of course, that's what we're doing. We're talking about the beginning yud. The yud at its origin, be'erik anpen. We said O pirish ki sod yud yilod is ante bekutra, that one that's surrounded, let's say, by the kutra. He says, Inyan ki Mocha de Eric Anpin, he Chachmah Shabakaser. So Chachmah Bakaser Shabakaser. In other words, you're in the Kaser has 10 spheros. So you're into the most beginning place where there would be any manifestation at all. He's taking us to see that. Shuhu Sod Os Yud, which is the secret of that Yud, which is a dot. This is what this means. He said, "Who's so Golgolta, the Chapi al Mocha Mela'ela that covers over the Moach on the top." So, in other words, the Moach is the centerpiece. Mela'ela Mocha is Aterba, and then it is surrounded in it. The Karach the Golgolta Kutra, and then the Golgolta is called by this name Kutra. Kutra here means what he said. It meant kasher. After shu lashon kasher, ki gugol do hu kasher, because what does the skull do? It binds the whole thing together, called ishtal shlushim merosh, ishtal shlushim merosh. All of the development that's coming out of the head has to be bound together. The hinder atzilus called bechinas kaser elyon. This is the appearance of all the bechinas of the upper kaser. What is the meaning of that phrase? He says, Kavar Parashno Shuhu Sod Bina Shabakaser. What is this Kruma Davira? So he said it's on the bottom. So this Kruma Davira Bakaser Shabakaser in this place of the Kaser Vahan Neshama and the Chlalasimo. And then the Neshama is always this is the origin of where we see the word Neshama. Refers to the light that's in it, I guess. Or Na'asa Aver, and then here's an old concept. I saw this concept originally in the Sulam way back when, and I thought it was interesting, but I didn't understand exactly what they're talking about, and this is what he says. He said, V'na'asa Aver, so you take this Yud and you put it into Or, and it becomes Aver, something more physical, I guess. So let's see, that was number 29. Chorkov Test down below says, Ritzon Lomar, the Mocha Stimah Chachmah Os Yud. The Mocha Stimah is the Chachmah. It's the Os Yud. Okay, well, let's see. We're talking how many Yuds do we have here? It's Bina, and Bina is Or. So, down below, so this is not the way that I thought it should be. I thought it should be that first you have the Or, then you put the Yud in the Or. Which is kind of what he's talking about, but he's saying that no, that's not right. He says the kruma da avira, the kruma, which covers on the bottom, is called bina bebechinas Or, and that's where the Or is, down below. And when there's a yichud there, and he's saying that the Golgolta is what ties them together, it's like the concept of a neshama inside of a body. That's the yud going into the kruma davira. His kalalus chachma bina. So this is what incorporates both chachma and bina. So he said, Azai niknas os yud the chachma, and this is a simple idea here, that the yud enters, which refers to chachma, besocha Or, with this light which is down below shel bina, v'na'asa mina Or osius avir, v'inyan zechad is boyer ba'or yakar b'kama makomos v'ein kan makom ha'arech. So I would like to know more about that, and he brought it up for the first time. What's the difference? So he did explain how Avir comes about, so now we have a concept of Avir. Let's go from number Kaf Tes, and we have here a Lamed also. So let's see, Kaf Tes is Vahainu. That is to say, Bina Mamish. This is really Bina. This is where Bina comes from. Bina comes from this place in the Kasser Shebekatzer. We're talking about the Bina of the Kasser B'Shebekatzer. V'nifteches, and it opens up. V'einin is temis, and it's not closed. V'hainu sod lamed beis nesivus, and that is the secret of the 32 nesivus hachachma, which come out of Bina. So he said, here's a little llama down below. But so the lomar the or kruma, the life in the kruma, atzma shuhu bebechinas bina niftach besod the amid beis the sivus. Ve'ein doimer of the muchas nistam besod kruma, and it's not similar to the mocha, which is inside, which is the Mocha Stimah, which is inside of this kruma. Niftach klal doesn't, which never opens up, as explains. So this is a place of a tremendous diminishing of the light of the Ein Sof. So reading on a little bit more here, there's a little bit more to say. He said, "V'amnam." We're on after number lamed. Amnam Chachmah zos ein nifteches. This Chachmah never opens up. That's what we just said, and we've heard that before. So let's see what else he says. And he says, Ella kruma dos sosim ba'alemes akol. So because the kruma, which is bina, this is just interesting ideas, but I don't know exactly how to fit this all together. He says, Ella kruma dos sosim ba'alemes akol. Because of the kruma on the bottom, it covers up and hides everything, or everything that is inside of this Mocha Stimah, which we said previously is the place the Birurim come into the Mocha Stimah. So how they get in, and exactly what he's saying. Let's if it's closed, it's closed. It's closed, it's closed. But here he says that after that is that actually the Yud, which represents the Mocha Stimah, an aspect of the Mocha Stimah at any rate, penetrates the how this is. I'm not sure. Maybe because of the birurim, maybe something like that. It penetrates the kruma davira, and as a result of that, it produces a concept of avir. So there, maybe that's where you get the kruma davira. Maybe that's what I'm missing. So everything that's in between the karkofta the resha behind the kasser shebekasser, and the mocha, which is the hainu chachma shebekasser, the kruma the hainu bina shebekasser, hakol osod yos yud. All of these things are contained in the letter yud. The hainu talsacha bekutzi the isba that is three different. He used the word kutzi, which is I have the concept of kots v'dardar here. It's points. I'll call it points. The hainu tlasa kutzi the isba ba'os yud. There are three different points in the yud. Kutza the eighth of this kasser is the kasser represented by the kasser of kasser. The kutza the sata has bina, which would be the he calls it a gay. I don't know how you pronounce it. Gayo is a tulchius hayud. That's inside. That means the center. Be'imsei is a chachma. Be'imsei is the chachma mocha, which is also known as mocha. We have a little note here. To pick it up, we have a couple of minutes. V'hu os yud nistam, and this is the letter os yud, and it's close. I don't know what this means. We'll see what it means. Os yud nistam l'lamala begugolta, so that it's closed up on the top because it's bound by the gugolta shuhu kutza elyon. V'niftach b'sod go imseisa b'sod mocha, so it's open. Besod go and go, this kinds of go, which means inside, I guess. Besod mocha, nistam. But then that's the way that it goes. At first, it comes the kruma, which not the kruma, the gugolta, which binds it. Then comes the open mocha, which is chachma, but which is closed on the bottom by bina. Let's see what he said. There was a little confusion, the exclusion in some of that. Let me get, let's see, we have 5 minutes. Okay, so let's go on. Number Lamed Aleph. He said, we have this over here too, which is what? Ki hayud yesh ba gimel kutzim. The yud has 3 kutzim. We know. Kutz the eider of a kutz the tata, the kutz b'emseisa, kutz the eider of a kasser elyon. Kutz b'emseis is Chachmah, kutz the tatas bina. K'de'is bezohar. Okay, the Pashas v'yikra ad kan. V'rei bezohar shon v'zel l'shon. Look over there. V'hai yud kutz chad le'elo. So this yud, once again, we're just repeating the background of how we know this. V'chad the tatam, one up above, one down below. V'chad be'emseisa. Chad kutza the ela kisra ilor, which is the upper crown. This is the upper kesser. Who Reisha Achra is a different head. It's a different. I don't know what he means by head, but he means different beginning in some way. Reisha Stimah the Chula. This is a Reisha which is calls to everything. Reisha Acheris is another one to talk who Reisha the Ashkal the Ginsa. That's the Reisha that actually has the flow of light in it. Now, of course, you have a question: is it said where does this light? Where does it go? Where does it come from? Or how does it get out of the Mocha Stimah? If it's sealed on the top and on the bottom, how does it get out? But it gets out. So, and in 32 in the Sifra is Chachmah. So the amount that it could get out would actually be very, very limited in relationship to the light that's inside. Okay, so now we're going to go to number Hey. Number Hey. Let's get this down here where we can see it. He's a Rei b'yafashah shabir kanvazel l'shana yud ilor. This yud on the top. Hine be'etz chaim b'shar Eric Anpin. So over there, bir rebedazal shatlas reishin ilor and kedishim haim be'eric Anpin. He says one is called the Kesser Gulgolta. Now we hear this word in the Yafashah now. It's a completely. Well, it's different. So but they're using some of the same ideas. Kesser is the Golgotha base is Avira Dachya Hanikra Mocha Ilor Stimah. So this is different. The Avira Dachya, he says that's the Chachmah that we were talking about, which is the Mocha Stimah. Number 3 is the Mocha Stimah itself. So I'm not sure what it is. Let's see it again. He says base is Avira Dachya Hanikra Mocha Ilor Stimah. Then he says that that's what the Avira Daki is called. So remember that Avira, we said in the previous one, is the word or on the bottom with the yud in the top, but he's saying something else. So he's like, Mocha Stimah is the third thing. He Chachmah, which is Chachmah. So we have a little contradiction in his language. Of the combinations of threes, v'hem av saguma asam. So let's just read out to the end, and we can maybe come back on Lamed Bet. V'hem b'mamash gimel ozius yaku. So that's what we're talking about. This is the origin of 3 letters that were going to appear: Yud, K, and Vav. In the previous, in the Or Yakar, we went through the letter Yud quite a bit. Now, once he wants to tie them now to these names of Hashem. So this is what it says over here, the upper Yud, which is the name of Av of 72 that is found in the Kesser. What does that phrase mean? That we had Atar means surrounded before, Be'itra Datika. I'm not sure what that means yet. Itra, what Rosh Lomar, so here he says, Itra, Ratzona Lomar, Atara. So it is a crown. So exactly what? Who, let's see, HaKesser, the Eric Anpin, he Krum Law. This is the Kesser of Eric Anpin, which is called the upper Krum de Kesser Atzmo. It's the Krum for Kesser itself. The Izdakek Vasasim, and what happens there? Once again, it becomes refined out and then sealed. Okay, that's the idea. Again, that same phrase. So I'd like to see more about it to help myself out a little bit. So going back over here, we got to number, I think we're done. We're done. That was it. We were done. Okay, so that was the end of that shir. Interesting, getting into the head of Kesser. What is preliminary, what comes before, how does it appear, and what does it do? The letter Yud gets divided in such a way, but now we're coming to a different understanding, which is according to the Yafashah. We'll see how that works out.